Hello everyone, this is Tanaka from Hair and Makeup Zen. This time I'm going to show you how to do a half updo from a short bob without using any pins at all. There's also a way to put together a base makeup arrangement like this that may seem complicated without using any pins. Please use this video as a reference. Also, if you are using a smartphone, when you touch the playback screen, you can see a little red bar at the bottom of the screen that indicates the progress of time. You'll see the bar will be split up into chapters. And by touching the View Chapters button, you can see the table of contents dividing this video into several processes. If you tap on a certain section, the video will jump to that time. This way, you can watch the parts you want to see again, and you can skip the parts you already know. This way you can study hairstyles with much more efficiency. I really hope this feature helps and that you find it useful. Alright, let's see how to make this hairstyle. The first step is blocking. This time, I'm going to go down 2 to 2.5 inches from the hairline, and from that point, I'm going to separate the side blocks in a slight zigzag arc all the way to the area behind the ears. Let's separate the other side the same way as well. It should look like this. For the back part, start with the very top. Take a triangular base, lift it up high, divide it into top and bottom, and rope braid them together. When you have finished 4 or 5 braids, pull them out from the bottom to create volume. Spray from the sides while it is spread out like this. Fix the hair ends with a duckbill clip. After that, right next to the top base right here, take a base like this with a downward triangle and divide it into 2 parts, top and bottom. Braid 2 separate strands of hair into a rope braid again, this time from a higher position, and pull out the hair strands. Then for this central part between the 2 braids, we're going to do the exact same thing. Rope braid them and pull them out for balance. This is what it looks like now. This is the first braid I made at the center in the very beginning. Now we'll make 2 additional rope braids on the left side as well. Use the hair that is right next to the blocking line that you created earlier. Be aware of the height of your hand when you make this braid. This is what it looks like after all the braiding. Now, take the unbraided areas between the braids and curl them. Please use a skinny hot curl. The key to curling is to first pull out a bunch of hair so that it floats at the roots. Then, apply the iron from the roots to create the first curl. If you do this, the roots will gently float up, creating a fluffy texture that will not reduce the volume of the braids. Repeat this process a few times to adjust the base makeup design. This is what it looks like when you roll the whole area. It looks like the spaces have been filled. Now let's spray and fix the curls while loosening them up a bit. When you're done, you can use these little rubber bands to hold the lace together. If your hair is a little bit on the short side, it may be a bit difficult to get the right balance. This is because the hair on the side will be somewhat forcibly moved to the center. For that reason, it's better to separate the back into 3 blocks and put them together. Let's start with the middle section. Pick up the hair around here, gather it up, and tie it together at the ends. For this process in particular, you don't need to worry about picking up these laced hair bundles. You can just pick up these curled or twisted hair bundles. It looks like this. Even after tying, it can be lifted and moved to the side like this. Now, let's move on. This will be the side of the back. The side of the back is very much the same, with the front bundle, the braided bundle, and another curled bundle. Rather than tying them right underneath, tie them together in a way that makes them slightly point towards the center. This is where you just tied them. Gather the remaining hair on the left back as well and tie it up so that the ends of the hair meet. Here's how it looks as a set of 3. Once this is done, we'll work with the side hair. First, let's curl all these separated parts into an outer curl. Rather than curling the hair from the roots, heat the hair from the roots and curl the hair around the ends. Once you've finished curling the hair bundle, comb it once and eyeball the length of the hair bundle in its curled state like this. The length of the hair ends is used to measure how far back the side hair can be brought backwards. Once you've figured out the approximate length, grab a hair bundle about a ½ inch size at the root where the hair ends will end up. The hair around it should be held in place with a duckbill clip. This separates it from the other sections for clarity. Once this is in place, weave in the side hair from earlier. After blending the parting a little, I'm going to give it a rough look that matches the texture of the back. Once you finish braiding the hair ends like this, take the hair ends from the back bundle from earlier and tie them together with a rubber band. When you do this, tie it as close to the scalp as possible. After tying the knot, take the shorter bundle at the back and pull it towards your scalp. That way, the hairband will slide upwards a bit. Pull these strands of hair and pull the elastic upward like this. Now the hair is nicely fixed in this position. Let's remove the clip and do the same for the other side. Don't worry if the hair bundle you're separating goes beyond the already tied elastic on the leftmost side. If the hair is long enough to go beyond that point, the elastic band will automatically be hidden by tying the hair bundle here. So it's actually easier this way. There are no specific rules on how to braid the sides, so we'll skip this one for today. At this time, pull out the braided hair to create a fluffy look without breaking it apart. Now I'm going to hide the tie at the back and wrap the lace around the bottom. The main way to hide the tie on this side is to use the remaining hair on top that was not tied together. Naturally, the longer the hair bundle is at the top, the longer the hair is, especially for bobs. So use this long bundle to braid a rope and hide the tie across the top. We're going to rope braid the hair like this, pulling out the strands. This tie on the back side is placed underneath. In the event that you're not sure what to do with the hair bundle, you can check and see where the hair ends will end up, and then you can separate the hair inside as a hair bundle and tie it together just as you did before. Again, be sure to use a duck bill clip to distinguish the surrounding hair so that we know not to use it now. Just like before, you can pull the hair ends towards the scalp. This way, you can adjust the height of the tie by raising it upwards. This new knot that I just tied is also one that I'm going to hide by bringing it out of the hair on top that I didn't tie together here. If the length of the side hair does not exceed where the tie is at the back, tie it before the elastic band and hide the tie in the back in the same way we did previously. And if the hair bundle is longer than the knot at this back end, you can use our example on the left side. Don't hesitate to tie it at a point beyond the knot. That way, we can just let the long hair do the job of hiding it. Lastly, we need to hide this knot at the back center. Find the longest hair section around the knot and braid this hair into a rope braid, bringing it over the knot you wish to hide. This time, I'm going to take some of this hair, the stuff that's behind the knot. It's underneath the elastic that's already been tied up, and what I'm going to do is tie it together with the bundle that I've just made. Again, tie it tightly near the root while masking it with a duck bill clip. By doing so, the braided hair you just tied hides the center knot that you tied earlier. As you can see, the elastic you just used may be slightly visible. But because this is in fact the knot that we tied with the hair underneath the center knot that we just hid, you can easily hide it by sliding the elastic upwards. Do this while pulling the tip of the hair downwards. This way the elastic gets pushed to the root. This completes the base of the half up with short hair without using a single pin. To finish it off, I'm going to curl the hair at the collar. With a bob hairstyle, the hair tends to gather up by or near the collar. Because of this, I need to separately curl the long hair and the short hair on the surface. When curling short hair, you may get nervous about getting the hot curling iron too close to the skin. So, depending on the hair length, a straightening iron may be a better option to create the shape you need. The safest way to avoid burns is to curl only the hair ends outward. Once you've done this, feel free to switch back to the hot curler for the rest of the hair. If you curl the whole thing like this, the end product will look like this. Just because I didn't use any pins for this doesn't mean that you can't use any pins. Especially when you're in the final adjustment phase, do not hesitate to use U-pins or American pins to refine the silhouette and make it look as nice as possible. So, what do you think? I'm sure that there are many ways to style without using any pins like this one. But unless there are special circumstances like a metal allergy or constant pain from using pins, they can be very useful. So, even when trying out the hairstyle following these steps, if you feel the need to use pins, please feel free to do so. That way you can provide stability to the entire style. From Hair and Makeup Zen, I've been Tanaka, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up.